Hey everybody, this is Miss Jody. I'm going to do some talking about social stories. I gave this class and some of you missed it and I forgot to record most of it. Luckily I was able to record Dave Perry, who is the parent of a child with Down syndrome, and he gave an awesome presentation on using technology and how his family has used social stories. He's also a college professor, so he is just a great presenter. So I got all that, and that will be coming to you. I would just suggest that you get, if you haven't gotten a handout from me, you should get the handout and then make sure you have it in front of you as I go through some of this stuff. This will be given in 5-minute clips because that's the only way I can upload it off my iPad. So there'll be a series of 5-minute clips as I go through everything. And I'm going to make it public so that if you feel like you want to share the links, feel free to share the link with anybody you think might find use out of this. Okay, so a social story is a written story that we use that describes a situation, a skill, or a concept in terms of the relevant social cues, the different perspectives of the people that are involved in the situation, and the common responses that we would expect from the child. So it's going to be outline it's going to outline a social situation in terms of the cues that the child and the different things that are going to happen that the child's going to expect, how different people are going to support them and feel about the things that are going to go on in this situation. And then a limited part is going to be what the expectations of the child for the child's behavior. And they can be, most times there's a written aspect, but we use photographs from the child's life, we can use Google images, we can use board maker pictures, we can use illustrations that we draw. And they were developed by Carol Gray. They've been used, only since 1991. I would have thought it was longer than that. But yeah, so they've been around for some time, and they're used a lot with kids on the autistic spectrum, but more and more we're using them with kids with all different kinds of developmental histories, and even with kids with typical development. So you'll see a lot of similar types of things, even in a typical classroom. And I can tell you I use them with my own children a lot because we all like to be prepared. So this is something that helps kids be prepared for the things that come up in their life. All right, so what Carol Gray did is once this came out, people got really excited about it, and people were writing them all over the place and using them in all different ways, which is awesome. But I think there's some of the characteristics that really make it a social story started to kind of go by the wayside. So Carol Gray developed these 10 guidelines, sort of criteria, to help us develop a true social story rather than like a knockoff. Because the purpose of a social story is to reassure and support a child and provide the child with the information they need and the expectations outlined so they can handle a social situation. So, the very first guideline is a social story meaningfully shares social information with a patient and reassuring quality, and at least 50% of all social stories applaud achievement. So what that means is, if you write 10 social stories, half of them should be describing something the child has done that would be an achievement or something the child is good at. And you know, Miss Jody, every week when I like to get my emails from you guys, I like to have you describe the child's ups as well as downs. That's not just because I'm a positive person and enthusiastic, which I am, but it's also because sometimes kids aren't sure what's correct and what's not correct. And it's good for us to give them information about what they're doing correctly as opposed to, and also the things that they need more support in. So that first goal, one of the things you want to do is you're going to, one of the most common misconceptions about that goal is that the social story's purpose is to change a child's behavior. That is not the case. A lot of times we write them because there's a behavior that we would like to change, but the purpose of the social story is to give the child the information that they need to be able to manage the social situation. If our goal is to tell the child what to do, we're not going to be successful because we've already been telling the child what to do and they haven't been successful at following that. Huh?